So there are two techniques on how to trace this font. One of them is to use an existing font, modify a font, and another one is just to use the pen tool. So I'm going to show you how to use the modify font. This is Arial Heavy. It's a font. So now I'm going to convert it to a picture. So I'm going to go path, object to path. Now it's a picture. Before I do that, I'm going to leave. I'm going to make a copy of it in case for some reason I might need the font again. So this is my original font, and this I'm going to convert to path, object to path. Now it's a picture. I'm going to right click and ungroup it. So now they're individual letters. So I can move this down here. I'm just going to try to replicate this thing here. And I have and you can move these individual letters like that. It's probably overlap a little bit here. This one's here. They're a little bit tight. You can see that they're very tight. This one's actually even touching there. And the L like that. Okay, now I'm going to modify some of these. Let's start with the M. And again, Control plus or minus to zoom in. So with the Edit Path tool, we're going to see that there's some anchor points. Okay, so on the M, I'm going to double click here and double click here to add anchor points. Now I can just move this out here, move this out here, and I created that effect there. Now we have a pointy M, so I'm going to double click, pull it out like this. But now you notice it's going too far. But what I'm going to do is select these points and I'm going to delete them and move this up here. And if you want to get rid of this curve, just use this little tool up here to get rid of any curve. And it seems like this one has a curve, this one has a curve, and okay, this one doesn't have a curve. Okay, there. And we're trying to match it to the picture. I'm trying to match it. There we go. And then the A seems to go down like that. And it's kind of small and narrow here. And the A is straight. So I'm gonna have to straighten this out. Okay, it looks too wide. Well, let's just move it and we'll figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's see. I'm trying to make this into a vertical member here. And this one's kind of tiny. I'm gonna make it smaller. So that means that this goes out to here somewhat like that. I gotta get this some thickness here. Trying to match this line here. So I'm just trying to mimic. Now, if you want to trace it, let's say you want to be super accurate with this, you can also just get rid of let's get rid of the fill. So object, fill and stroke. If you're trying to trace it, so get rid of the fill and then add a stroke and make the stroke like 1 pixel. So switch over from millimeters to pixels and make it 1. Just type in 1. There you go. Now I can just let's get this out of the way. Move this M. Oops, I can't. I got to move this to the bottom. I got to go object, lower to the bottom. Okay, now I can have this on top. Now you can change the color of the stroke so that let's use a fluorescent green so we can see. So fill and stroke, and let's change it instead of black. Let's make it fluorescent green so I can see it. That's the only reason I'm making it fluorescent green is because I can't see it. Okay, this doesn't want to tuck in again. Okay. Control plus to zoom in. So now we can see that you can either, okay, if you want to match it, you can, now I can move these points to match it. It is coming at an angle, I guess, like that. Now there's, I think that it doesn't need to be perfect, but if you wanted to trace it, this is another method you can do, like that. There you go. Put these points like that. Huh, look quite right. Like that. So we have there. And then I can bring the other letter, the A. Again, get rid of the fill and add a stroke and make it 1 pixel. And we can move this, Control plus to move it here. That's pretty close. There we go. Like that. Now you can do the same thing with the pen tool, right? If you decide that you don't want to use a font, that you just want to draw it, you can also do the same thing. Like for example, let's say I already have an R down here. Let's see, I have an R that I could probably just manipulate. But let's pretend that I don't have an R, okay? You can just trace it, use the pen tool, and just click on this. And remember, there's only 3 anchor points for a half circle. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. You don't need to put in. And I'm just clicking 1 per corner. 1 corner, 1 corner, 1 corner. Boom, done. See that? Now, if you select the center of the half circle, add a curve, adjust the curve. It's a lot easier. Otherwise, it's going to look lumpy if you don't do it this way. And then let's do a hole. Now remember, these holes are not holes. They're just another shape. But you do need to add a hole, and I'll show you how to do that. So there it is. Add a curve. Adjust the curve by you pulling the control arms. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. Maybe it's a little too big. Let me make it smaller because it looks a little too big right there. Okay. So what I was telling you about, let's put this image on a different layer. Let's see. I'm going to add a layer here. I'm going to call it guide. Only because I want to move this picture. It's this picture here. I'm going to put it in here. And the reason is that, did I get the right picture? I think it's the, no, that's not the right picture. This must be the picture here. See, the ones that's called images. Okay. And then this is your drawing, if you want to label it, drawing. And the guide layer, right? So I'm going to move it down. There you go. And you can hide it. You can click on the eyeball to hide that layer, so to get out of the way for a minute. Because what I'm going to do is, remember I told you about that you need to pop a hole in it? So let's say I'm going to give the R a color. I'm going to make it, let's say, red, right? And I'm going to make the hole, I'm going to make it, let's say, let's say green. Make it green, okay? So you know that this is just a shape, it's not a hole. See that? It's just a shape. Okay, Control Z to undo. So I need to cut a hole into this R. So this is the cookie cutter. Select the cookie cutter, the thing you're going to cut, right? With the move tool, just click on it to select it. Hold the shift and click on the letter. Now I selected both the cookie cutter and the letter. And now I'm going to go to path, difference. Difference is like subtraction. So I click on difference. Now I cut a hole in it, and now I can see right through it. See that? I can see right through the hole. So you can do the same thing with the A. And you need to do this, otherwise the effect's not going to work on the... So I'm going to give this a color. And, oh, this was already, okay, this one had a hole in it already. So, okay. So there it is. And let's continue. Okay, let me hide this. And again, you can either do a modified letter, right? Whatever makes you happy. And add a point here to make it pointy. And pull it out like that. And, or you can draw it, which would be with the pen tool. One, click here, click here, click here. Click. I'm just clicking on the corners like that, and I've got the. Sounds like it's probably easier just to draw the thing. To me, it looks like it. Now combining these two letters here, the L and the E. Combining these two letters. Like that, and I'm just clicking on the corners like that. Close the shape. There you go. You actually got the marble. Let me just move these letters out of the way. So there's two options, two ways to do it. And move that up there and move this one up here. And let's add a fill to this one. There you go. And now, how much time do we have on? What happened?